us for the session on controlling your anger. This is session 2. Today we're going to go over some role-playing scenarios that are going to be designed to help us learn how to manage our anger. So before we begin, I thought we'd check in a little bit. Rebecca, maybe you could check in with us, tell the group something positive that's happened. Maybe not since we last saw you.
Yeah, I got an A on my biology test.
Yeah, it's great news.
Studied
Congratulations.
really hard. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. How about something not so positive?
I just haven't been sleeping lately. Not sleeping really well. So
Yeah, that's too bad.
that's about it.
All right, thank you for sharing. Okay, and Lisa, how was your check-in? How's something positive that's happened?
Let's see, this week, I didn't get yelled at by my mom this week, so that was good.
That is great news. So you made her happy, or?
Yeah, I guess I was just listening a little bit better this week.
That's great. What's something not so positive?
I got a C on one of my tests because I was too busy watching TV one night to study, so I didn't do so good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Sean, same question. How about you?
I got a job at McDonald's.
Hey, that's great news, man. Congrats.
Nice.
Oh, now you're gonna put burgers.
So that's good, but then something bad.
Not so positive.
Yeah, I got a ticket for speeding.
Oh man, that sucks. Sorry.
So
Yeah, that is too bad. I apologize.
That really sucks.
Oh, may I ask, how'd you handle it?
I was really scared that my dad was gonna kill me, so I just was polite. I didn't want to go to jail, so
Yeah, of course.
I was just, just signed it and whatever.
Wonderful. All right, yeah, sometimes that's the best thing to do in those scenarios. Okay, so moving on, I want to briefly remind everyone about the group rules that we discussed last time. Everyone kind of have an idea, comfortable still with those group rules and confidentiality?
Yeah.
Thank you. Any comments or observations from anybody? Okay, thank you. All right, so now we're going to talk about our role play activities specifically. I've got some scenarios that are very raw, but I thought that I could explain them to you and then have you guys kind of interact. And the purpose of these role plays are to kind of provide a pretend environment for you guys to show, and talk about all the potential different ways that anger and controlling your anger can be handled. So for this first scenario, I would like to choose Rebecca and Sean as a dad and daughter car situation. And essentially, Rebecca, I'd like you to ask your father if you could borrow the car on Friday night, and then Sean, I want you to be a concerned father who has some questions about whether or not that's in the best interest. So let's see what you guys can come up with.
Hey Dad, can I borrow the car?
When?
This weekend, I want to go take some friends to the movies.
I don't think you're old. I don't think you're experienced enough yet to be driving with other teenagers in the car. So I'm gonna have to say no.
What? That is so not fair, Dad. I've been driving for almost 2 whole months. That's not fair.
Okay, I told you the last time that if you argued with me about the car, then you were gonna lose it. So no car for a month for nothing.
What? That's crazy. Oh man, you're such a jerk, Dad.
Okay, well, let's stop there. And so I know this was pretend, but obviously, Rebecca, this churned a little bit of real emotions. Would you feel this would be unfair if your dad had said that to you?
Yeah, because I feel like maybe he didn't have maybe good enough reason. I don't know.
Sean, that seemed pretty logical. I know you're not a father, but that seemed like pretty good advice. So let me go into a little bit more detail. Rebecca, what would have been a better way to respond to your dad after he said you couldn't borrow his car?
maybe just say, okay. Or, you know.
Well, why do you think he said no?
Because you wanted to ruin your life.
Totally.
Sean, is that why you said no?
No, like when I first got my license, I wanted to take some of my friends, and my dad told me the same thing, so.
Right, that makes sense. So,
Yeah, but it's
you
like,
see
why
his
do you
point
have
of
your
view.
license? You have it, you know, it's.
So you don't think that that it might be more dangerous with more teenagers in the car
Yeah, but if I
distracting you?
promise to be really good, if I promise and I make that promise and, you know, I have to prove myself. He has to show me that I can prove myself.
Well, that's a good point. How can you resolve that conflict, or at least ease your dad's anger?
I guess maybe by talking to him, maybe compromising.
Yeah, that's not a good. That's good. And what can your dad do to resolve
Let me go anyway.
I guess you have to build his trust.
Yes, yeah, I would have to do that. Maybe he could start letting me take it out more
it? Right, that's not a
at
bad
night.
point. And then is that something that your dad allowed with you?
Yeah, like I drove to the store and stuff a lot, like if he had to go somewhere, he would let me drive and stuff, you know. Sometimes like if we had to go, not real far, but like kind of far, you know, just to like kind of get experience, you know, because, you know, he always said like, you never know about the other person, you know, whatever that means.
And it sounds like it, you know, helped you, affected you positively. So, you know, that's great. Thank you, guys. That's great. All right. So, Lisa, let's talk about our scenario. In this one, we're going to do a worker and boss situation. I'll play the boss, and I'll have you play the employee. And essentially, what I'm going to do is kind of be a stern boss, a little bit of an attitude. So please don't take it seriously. Okay, so let's begin.
Okay.
Lisa, I'd like you to mop Department E today, please.
Okay, not a problem.
Lisa, I need you to clean the windows in the front of the office.
Wait up. You just told me 5 minutes ago that you wanted me to mop, and now you want me to go and clean?
Please, your job is to clean windows,
But that's not what
mop
you
floors.
said.
Just
You
take care of it,
said to
please.
mop the floors, but you didn't tell me to clean the windows, so that's why I only did one and I didn't do the other.
I understand.
So you need to make up your mind, because I can't be in two places at once.
Lisa, I am in charge. I've
Okay.
asked you to take
All right,
care
you're
of
the
both
boss.
of these.
Yep, you're the boss. I'll listen to whatever you say.
Okay. All right. That was good. Thank you, Lisa. Okay. So, what positive talk could you have told yourself? Possibly to calm yourself down before responding that way, because let's be honest, boss may not appreciate to be spoken to that way, even
Yeah.
though he approached you incorrectly.
Well, I gotta remember, I guess I'm lucky to have a job. Could have gotten fired for talking back. But, I mean, he really wasn't paying attention. You know, I guess if I would have just told myself to chill out, you know, maybe he had stuff going on in his mind and he just totally forgot that he had told me to. But still, he should have talked to me that way. But I shouldn't ever argue, I guess, with a boss.
That's a very good point. Yeah. And what could you have said to your boss, maybe in an assertive way, but without appearing aggressive?
Maybe I would have said something like, okay, well, hold on. You know, a couple minutes ago you came in. Do you want me to change up and do something else? Or do you need me to do both? Or what would you like me to do? What's a priority? And then maybe he could have thought about it. And maybe it could have, you know, made him think, okay, well, maybe I already told her.
Right, and perhaps not cutting,
Not yell.
yeah, or not cutting them off as well.
Yeah.
And then
I
how,
tempted to do that.
yeah, because how did you feel when your boss wasn't yelling at you?
I mean, I don't know. I guess he's the boss for a reason. You know, and
Right.
it's his job.
Yeah, I understand, and I guess that's true. But there are, like you mentioned, there are times where bosses are busy. They have other things on their mind. They forget things. So it is important for their employees to be assertive, to point out things that might appear contradictory, and simply, you know, state this information to them, like perhaps, no problem, boss. However, you mentioned that you wanted me to clean this, and I'm not completed yet. when I'm done with this, would you like me to go tackle the windows, or would you like me to stop what I'm doing and do the windows now? Something to that effect.
Yeah, I guess that would make, I could think about all those bad things in my head, but I just can't say it.
Yeah, well, it's tough because you're gonna get surprised at times by people and the way they speak to you. And handling these situations is difficult. I know Sean mentioned getting a ticket today. If that police officer had been really angry and upset with you, it could have triggered you as far as your anger goes. And so the way we speak to people, the individuals, is important. That boss, hopefully, will learn a lesson and could have possibly learned a lesson if you had spoken to him assertively. So this is a good scenario. Thank you. All right. I think that's it for today's session. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
No?
All right. Wonderful, everyone. Thank you again. And when we meet again next week, we will discuss, we'll wrap up and discuss our summaries, what we've learned, kind of go over the conclusions and then call it a day. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.